Good morning all. It's a beautiful day and I just thought, being the first full week of August, it's time for a garden update. I have done quite a bit. I don't know that I have enough room on my phone storage to finish a video, so I'll keep it as short as I possibly can, just to let you know what I've been doing. So before I carry on with the back garden, here is a front garden update. Just when I thought I'd do a quick front garden video for you, the traffic. So if I stop talking every few seconds, for a few seconds, it's because there's traffic. I started with this giant teasel, and it is giant because it's way over 9 foot tall. You see a bumblebee there? There's loads of them all over. You see all the bumblebees? I counted 5 not 5 minutes ago, and they're absolutely loving the teasel. I've just harvested blackberries, but let me just see if I can get you out here a bit. See there? The birds are getting them already. Don't mind sharing, but it just means that I'm going to have to get up earlier and come and get them in the morning. Look at those. This is one of the branches of the teasel that fell over and just kept growing from the compost. Butterfly. Oh, where's she gone? Behind me. There she goes. An orangey brown one, small one, in between the celery flowers. And the beetle there, I don't know if you can see that, it's too small for you to see with this camera. But the butterfly is loving that celery flowers. There you go. I've had quite a few butterflies. Lots of flies and hoverflies all over the achillea. I've taken cuttings from the wisteria. Look at that. Didn't they come out nice and bright? The zinnias, that's all that survived after the slugs got them when they started. And of the sunflowers, they look nice and bright too. The Senecio, the slugs are loving. And the blackbirds, look, they keep digging up my plants. You know? Wouldn't mind so much if they'd eat the snails. At least there's compensation. But they're just digging up my whole garden, exposing all the roots. Right, these sunflowers have gone over already. Oh, there's more blackberries. You can see the passion flower has come back. Oh, look at this beautiful hoverfly just there. Oh, wow! It's a black and white one. You see that? Oh wow, that's a privilege. One of our beneficial flies. Looks like a wasp or a bee, but it's a fly, a hoverfly. And they're a predatory one. They will, I think it's that they are the ones that lay their eggs. Oh wow, that's up close. That's lovely. I've got about 4 or 5 different types of hoverflies in this garden. So that's been working nicely. I even keep so-called weeds. To me, that's a beautiful flower. Even the plantain, the birds and the insects love them. The birds are eating the seeds now. And my roses are still going, and the smell, oh, in the summer the smell is so strong. This little upturned bucket that doesn't have a bottom anymore, the bottom's gone years ago. It's an old metal one. I showed you before, I've put the flower pot tray with some stones for the bees, if the bees want to sit and have a drink as well, or the insects. But the birds do visit this all the time, as you can tell, and they love it here because it's in the shade. It's right by the teasel. It's shaded, so it's sheltered. It's in the shady side of the arch. So they're drinking and bathing in there all the time. And it's lovely to watch. But an unexpected benefit of that is that when the water gets a little bit mucky, when I change and give them fresh water, I just tip up the mucky water and put in fresh, but the mucky water is there feeding my blackberries, as well as the compost pile. That keeps feeding the plants as well. So that's been brilliant. And look at it. All those blackberries. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them everywhere. So there you go. The fennel are starting to set seed nicely. And there's another wasp over there. A couple of wasps. There you go. So that's the front garden. Full of insects. Look, a large white. What most of us call cabbage white butterflies. But you know, and I've been picking some of the hydrangea for flower arrangements. That's about it. Chamomile still going. Oh, I've put in a courgette over there. So they're surviving. Oh, I did put in another one somewhere and I can't remember where. Obviously it's not going to survive because I can't remember where I put it. That's obviously been munched by the slugs. So what I've been doing in the back garden this week, well, since last week, last day of July, I cleared out that humongous pile of compost that I had there, riddled it out. It took a few hours, but I had 7 full, crammed full compost bags of beautiful compost that we made here at home, which is very satisfying because it means I've saved money, because this garden takes quite a lot of compost. I've cleared out the old peas, trimmed back some bushes, put in some canes and tied them in, tidied up this path as well so we could get in. Oh, and I caught a whiff of the carrot flowers the other day, and the smell was absolutely amazing. I was shocked. It actually smells like incense. Can you believe it? Carrot seed, carrot flowers smelling like incense. Lovely. Courgettes are in. I don't know that we're going to get much this season. We have 2 tiny fruit on the loofah like that, so let's hope that we actually get some this season. Tidied up this path, and I've put a tube around the potato that's a volunteer in the ground, and I'm just going to fill that with soil. And if we get... So I calculated and we wrote down all the different varieties of plants that I have in my garden, front, back and in the house. And in the back garden I have all of that, and I calculated to work out just over 200 different varieties, and in the front garden there's 80 different varieties of plants. That's a huge amount because I love experimenting, I love plants, and I'm growing a huge amount. And I'm going to continue growing lots of different plants because I love plants and I love having big variety. However, in my back garden, so having decided and counted how many different plants I've got in this garden, I've decided I'm going to have to get a bit more specific and more intensively use my vegetable patch and grow more of the things that we use a lot of more frequently, and try and fit everything else in pots around the garden. So I mean, the potatoes, we do use quite a few potatoes. So, and those tubs, the tubes are not as productive as I was hoping it would be. So I'm going to have to put it in the ground, like it or not. So one of these beds is going to have to go for potatoes next year. Onions we use a lot of, and carrots. Those are staples that we use a lot of the annuals. And yet, looking at these flowers, carrots are not annuals, they're biennials because they flower in the second year. So to harvest the leaves though, they're annuals. I did want to quit the corn, but hubby says no, we like it seasonally, grow on our own, and it doesn't grow much, but we use it as it's fresh, so we'll still be growing the corn. So carrots, onions, potatoes and corn are the main summer ones, and of course leeks, beetroot and things like that. Beans and peas will still grow on the climbing trellises, so no full beds for that because they're not staples that we use all the time, and we are going to be building that big frame with the troughs there for the strawberries, but I will also plant lettuces and things in them. And since they're starting to rust nicely now, I think that will be a good deterrent for the slugs. So strawberries and lettuces will go in the big frame that we're going to build there for the troughs. I will still use these. I mean, obviously I'm going to use them now for lettuces. I have a very big Enviromesh net that I can use over the carrot bed as well. So I'm going to put them in the ground. I think I'm going to start doing that next year. So phone storage is up. That's the garden update. I'm going to go more specific, more focused in my vegetable growing to help with at least cutting bills at home. Right, I am going to have to be off now, and I shall speak to you again soon. Hope you're growing happy, that you're having good weather, whatever it is, rain or sunshine, because it's all good. Sorry, stop in there to listen to the sound of the bees. Look at that. And oh, if we had smell-o-vision, that would be beautiful. It smells like honey. Have a chill out all. Speak to you soon. Bye.